Well, Your Excellency, the meeting also released information on social media. You recognize the damaging and negative impact of fake news and worry about its destructive and dangerous potential. But item 12 of your communique says that the federal government should ensure that technology is used effectively for the advancement of the Nigerian security and not its destruction by working with the technology cum social media platforms. Well, you know that the federal government had been talking about censoring social media on the one hand. So we want to understand just what the Southwest leaders have decided about the social media precisely, because it would seem like item 12 and item 11 are not particularly on the same page.
Well, those items you referred to, what we have decided is not that anybody wants to gag. We never took the decision that social media be gagged. No. But we're all clear as to the effect of fake news and false news. And there's no government that will sit back and allow such news items to go without a way of curbing it or restricting it. So at the end of the day, I will realize what it did in this NSAS or the aftermath of NSAS, because I don't believe NSAS ended before the hoodlums took over. When the hoodlums took over, a lot of fake news were fed to the public. People were reacting to it. False news were fed to the public. They reacted to it. Led to destruction of properties, Lagos, Akure, everywhere. So no responsible government will just sit back. And what the communique is saying that, look, we must look into it. There must be gatekeepers. Yes, you want to publish any news you like, but there must be gatekeepers using technology that will be able to at least go on as you are trying to send out this your fake news that can sieve what is right and what is wrong. You can say it will be subjective, fair enough, because we cannot, the government will not allow everybody to just throw in whatever it likes. So we have the gates can be kept and maintained through technology so that fake and false news are not allowed to go out. That is what we are saying we will exploit. If you have to get to Facebook to get some of them, there are areas in some countries in which they must have managers. And if any fake news come out, they will be responsible themselves. Facebook will be responsible. You can have such band that will restrict what comes out, not because they won't restrict my personal conversation, they won't restrict what I'm saying to my friends. But if I want to take out news and say that thousands have been or hundreds have been killed in Lekki, Toge, for instance, then before it comes out, I must have evidence of people who died on the ground. Show me. And if it's not there, I will say to you, you cannot use my band to propagate such a news item. That's what we are saying. So there must be a way in which people, a technology, I know the technology exists, they're using it everywhere, using it in Russia, using it in China. We are not saying we should go there out, but they're using it even every other place. So nobody, if we cannot be disciplined enough to be able to know that we don't churn out news that can cause a lot of damage in the society, then the government itself must be proactive enough to find a way at least to control it. That's what we are saying.
You know, some are always quick to also say, while that is being done, what about statements made by political actors during campaigning, divisive statements and whatnot? I recall we had a conversation with you and you called them political gunshots. So in the same vein, do you think that should be, applied to all those statements made by political actors, politicians, during, before, or after elections, all those statements? Do you think that should be applied to?
Thank you for that. Luckily, you have not pointed out to where these political gunshots have led to mayhem. Because among politicians, they know themselves. Do you think we take ourselves too seriously? We know what it is when you go on
the local
platform,
government elections. During the local
what I'm
government
saying.
elections in your state, in Idori, for example, we saw violence, and in other areas. So, I mean, if you say these statements don't lead to violence, I wonder, with the violence we have seen, what was responsible for that then?
I thank you. Said during the local government election, can you tell me, because you have to be specific, what statement led to that? That is it. What statement led to that?
So
Tell
you're
me.
saying that the statements made by political actors, divisive statements that tend to make people go violent. You're saying they are not related to the violence we see before and maybe during elections too?
With all respect to you, I said, tell me what particular statement led to that. That's all. And I answer you.
So
Any statement,
what's your basic...
look,
Understandable. I understand, Your Excellency. So you're saying that these statements should be allowed to be made if they can be linked to violence? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that there are statements, fake and false news, that could exacerbate whatever situation we have and that could lead to mayhem and violence. That should not be allowed. And I'm also now reiterating that most of these statements that they make on political platform, politicians understand themselves. They are not
the people, Your Excellency, do the people understand? Because this is a major issue. Do the people understand? Because if they hear a politician saying, well, we're going to win this election at all costs, regardless what happens, I mean, the people will go out there and try to win it at all costs.
The people don't do that. If you say you win election at all costs, they know you are just a joker. And most people will tell you and react almost immediately, you are a joker, you will not win. So if I say I will win at all costs, you too say you will be defeated at all costs, and everybody will be quiet. There's nothing, political statement like this, as I said to you, it's just tantrums. It's different from, don't compare this with what happened recently. It's not the same. People did not die. You say you have hundreds who have died. So what are we saying? Are they the same? Are you saying that reaction to the massacre of people is the same thing as saying election will be won at all costs? No, they're not the same. Please let us compartmentalize all these statements. As I said, those ones are political gunshot. You cannot kill anybody, and people don't react to it as such. But when it comes to what we saw recently, it's not an easy thing. You carry somebody that will happen in a film, and you now bring it out on the Facebook and say, oh, we are carrying a dead body. Until that person came, oh, this was not a dead body, we acted this film. Is it the same? Seeing dead body and saying this is somebody who was killed? I reacted to everybody who react, how can they be killing this way, until you find out that, not that people were wounded and but not that extent. Let us be fair to ourselves. So don't link it up. Let's separate this from what happened recently. Political gunshots are nothing.